Here's the 0-2 pitch. Kirk bounces one up the middle, bends to the bag, over to first to beat the champ. You gotta knock him out. The Dodgers stand tall and win back-to-back titles.
Yo, welcome to another episode of First and 32 Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the First and 32 Podcast. I'm your host, Steve, a.k.a. S. a.k.a. whatever else you know me as. And yes, you heard it here. The Los Angeles Dodgers have won the World Series. They are repeat champions. They won last year. They won Game 7. 11 innings, scored 5-4, and it was a tight game from the beginning to the end. From the beginning to the end, this was a good ass series. This is probably, I don't want to say greatest, because I feel like great is a strong word, but this is the most exciting World Series of my time period since I've been alive, watching sports or whatever. But this is definitely one for the ages. Like I said, this one went to 11 innings. The Dodgers actually came back. I think they were down. What the fuck? They was down 3-2, 1-3 at one point, and then they went on a little run. Pitching got better. From the beginning, I felt like the Blue Jays, they just came out with more energy as far as running the bases. Ohtani, I'm sorry. I don't know why I like calling him. I don't understand why he started the game. He started the game, and the Blue Jays got a couple hits early, got a couple men on bat, couple runs early. If I'm not mistaken, they had like 7 hits in the 4th inning alone when they went on a run. So I didn't understand why he started the game off when he pitched last game, when Game 6. He seemed a little tired or whatever, and he wasn't really effective as far as pitching goes early in the game. But like I said, they made a comeback around the 6th inning or whatever. I was watching the game. It was pretty exciting. I don't know. I see a lot of people on TV talking about this is the greatest World Series ever. I don't know about all that, but I know it's one of the best of my lifetime for sure. What the fuck was that? Game 3. Game 3 went all the way to 18 innings, and I swear I tried. I tried to stay up for all of them. I think I fell asleep around, it was like fucking 12 o'clock Central Time, and they was in the 14th ending, and I don't know, I couldn't hang. So I went to sleep, fell asleep, woke up, seen the score and everything. Yeah. So the Dodgers are repeat champs. Mind you, they had one of the most expensive rosters in baseball. So, and most of their people are coming back. Shout out to Kershaw. That was his last game. It looked like he's gonna be retiring. He's gonna be done. So he went out with a bang. And they got most of their players under contract going into the next season. So yeah, once again, shout out to the Dodgers or whatever winning another Super Bowl. I'm thinking about baseball. I'm thinking about bad football, but talking about baseball. So shout out to the Dodgers winning another classic, Game 7. We're gonna miss baseball. That was probably one of the best postseasons in a long time. Also, I don't think None of the games was predictable. Shout out to the Cubs too. I know we ain't make it to the World Series, but we did pretty good this season. We just happened to run up against the Brewers in the playoffs and lose, but the Brewers lost too, so I ain't really tripping on that. And yeah, man. So that's enough for baseball. We're gonna transition over to football. Couple of week 9 recaps. Starting off Thursday night football. Baltimore beat the Dolphins. They beat the dog shit out the Dolphins. And Lamar Jackson's return after being injured for what I want to say like 3-4 weeks. So they beat the shit out the Dolphins 28-6. The Giants lost to the 49ers 34-24. The Chargers beat the Titans 27-20. I'm surprised that the Titans scored that much. Their offense hasn't really been that good this season so far. The Vikings beat the... Hold on before I talk about that. I had to grab my jersey. Shout out to the Vikings. We beat another division team. We beat the Detroit Lions 24-27, and J.J. McCarthy's return back to the lineup after we lost Carson Wentz is probably done for the season. It like he messed up his shoulder last game, and he continued to play through the injury. So shout out to Carson Wentz. I know I gave you a lot of slack for stinking up the joint, but I do respect your toughness and getting hurt and then playing through it. I'm not sure if you'll return this season. Hopefully you won't. Just heal, take some time to heal. But yeah, we won that game. And the thing I liked about JJ and his return is he was spreading the rock around. We got that run game going real early in the game. We got the run game going that opened up the pass game, play action, little dink and dumps to the running back. He got Jordan Addison involved. He definitely got JJ involved. But it was a good win for us, especially since right now we're 4-4, but at least we got 2 wins over the teams in the division. We beat the Bears earlier. We beat the Lions. If I'm not mistaken, we got an upcoming matchup against the Packers. So we'll see how that go. Shout out to the Vikings. Stole. The Patriots beat the Falcons 24-23. The Colts beat the Steelers 27-20. And I know, speaking on the Colts and the Steelers game, I gave Daniel Jones a shout out a couple weeks ago, and it seems like every time I give somebody a shout out, they just play terrible. Like the following week or so, Daniel Jones threw 3 interceptions. He threw 3 interceptions. The coach turned it over a total of 5 times this game. Daniel Jones threw the ball 50 times. So I was surprised that the score was this close, but the Steelers, they did enough to win the game. But yeah, Daniel Jones was 31 for 50, 342 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. I don't know. Five turnovers by the Colts, and to only lose about 7 points, I think is good. It shows how explosive the team is. Well, the defense, obviously. I don't know if the team was that good or the Steelers just suck at putting points on the boards. But if you turn the ball over 5 times, you should be in the game like that. So we'll see. But the Colts are still, top team in the league. We're gonna see in these upcoming weeks if Daniel Jones and the coach themselves are a fluke. In my eyes, Jonathan Taylor is runner-up for the MVP. I know historically everybody likes to automatically give it to a quarterback, but I don't think it's been that one quarterback that I would say that stands out this season. So for me, I would right now, if I had a vote, they should give me a vote. I wonder what I need to do to get a vote. I give my vote to Jonathan Taylor. The Broncos beat the Texans 18-15. Bo Nix is playing real good this season. Sean Payton got him balling. He threw two touchdowns, 1 interceptions. Also, CJ Stroud went out with a terrible injury. I want to say a concussion. He went to slide, and one of the defenders went to tackle him. And you know how it always happens. He hit him late, super late, like knocked him out. So I'm not sure how long he'll be out. So get well soon, CJ Stroud. Let me see who we got. The Bears and the Bengals. The Bears and the Bengals. I ain't gonna say two of the Bengals are one of the worst teams in the league. The Bears, their offense hasn't been as good as people projected it to be coming into the season with all the acquisitions they made, the offensive court, the head coach that they acquired from Detroit. Put up 47 points. They won 47-42. Joe Flacco. I wanted to do Cleveland regret getting rid of Joe Flacco because the moment they let him go, he go to Cleveland. To up the street in Cincinnati and do his thing. Joe Flacco was 31 of 47 with 470 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. The 2 interceptions wasn't good, but the fact that old ass Joe Flacco, I think he about 40, 41, him and Aaron Rodgers, the oldest players in the league right now, put up 470 yards. That says a lot about him. Also, that says a lot about the Bears' fucking defense. This game went down to the wire. Cincinnati, I think Jamar Chase had just scored a touchdown. They were up 41-42 and maybe like a minute or so. I think so. And the Bears marched down there. They got in field goal, threw a catch, got in field goal position. The Bengals didn't do a good job of tackling. The guy made it past the field goal range, so the Bears took another snap, boom, get the touchdown, and you could see how frustrated Jamar Chase was walking into the locker room. The cameras caught him saying, one fucking stop. So, yeah, I know you got to be pissed. It's frustrating. You first of all, you have a good game, offensive-wise. 6 receptions, 111 yards. T. Higgins came away with 7 receptions, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. So offensively, the Bengals are balling. It's just defensively, I don't know if it's a lack of effort or just skill, but they just getting bullied around. The Bears' offensive line hasn't been the best this season. And if you watch that game, they was manhandling Cincinnati's defensive line up front. That's where they controlled the game. So, I don't know. I'm sure they was pissed. I'm sure a fight probably broke out in the locker room after that loss. Because thinking you won the game and all you got to do is stop them from getting in field goal contention and you win the game. But they didn't. So, I didn't really have the Bengals. I don't have the Bengals doing much this year since Joe Burrow went down. I think the division will probably be up for grabs between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's looking like the Steelers going to be the runaway favorite so far. But we got some time. We got a couple weeks. Baltimore, they got Lamar back. They got Marlon Humphreys back on defense. So they're getting a couple players back. I think Smith is back also. So We'll see. They about 3-4 right now. See if they can go on a run. I think I predicted that they wouldn't make it to the playoffs, so I might look stupid as fuck if they do. The Panthers and the Packers. That was a good game. That also went down to the end. But Jordan Love. First of all, let's give a shout out to the Panthers. I don't think nobody predicted that they would be 5-4 this season. Nobody's talking about the improvements that Bryce Young has made this season. What he was 11 for 20, 102 yards. Well, this wasn't really one of the games to brag on his performance, but this season he's been playing very well. And also it's been an upgrade from the past seasons he's played, you know. But they're 5-4 right now. Jordan Love, he was let me pull up J-Lo. He was 26 of 37, 273 yards and an interception. But the problem was some of the passes he was throwing made no sense. It was almost like, and I don't like doing the player comparison things. Sometimes it could be lazy, but he was throwing Brett Favre type passes where it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you didn't have to throw that. You didn't have to throw that. You could either throw the ball out of bounds or like they say, live to play for another play. He would throw the ball in like triple and double coverage, short arming it. It was just, I was watching it and I was just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it was a couple times where it was just like, bro, why would you throw that? Like, that was unnecessary. So, as a Vikings fan, I'm happy the Packers lost, so I ain't really tripping. But the Rams blew out the Saints 34-10. Not really much to talk about that on that game. The Jaguars, they beat the Raiders. They beat my Raiders to 30-29. First of all, remember 2 episodes ago, I gave Geno Smith. I gave Geno Smith a shout out. I said, yeah, shout out to Geno Smith, man. You playing good. And then he followed it up with like 3 straight weeks of terrible performances. We're going to get into him. We're going to get into Geno. But Cam Little of the Jaguars kicked a 68-yard field goal. 68 yards. You know what happened to him after the game, right? They probably should have did it in the game. They drug tested his ass so quick. He probably didn't even make it to the locker room after the game. But yeah, he kicked a 68-yard field goal. And I was in disbelief when I heard that shit. That's like, that's damn near at the 50-yard line. So them being he could be their offense. Like, as long as we make it to the 50-yard line, we got we got 3 points we could put on the board. That's gonna be crazy that we at a time now where, remember, it used to be 50 was like, damn, he could kick 50 yards. Now this dude doing 68 yards. And that's crazy. But yeah, they won 1 point. Now back to Geno. And this the shit I be talking about with Geno. It's like he just ain't making the right plays. I don't know. But it was in overtime. It was overtime. We just scored. And we was going for the 2-point conversion. I don't mind Pete Carroll going for the 2-point conversion. You know, be a little aggressive. We ain't got nothing to lose. 2-5 record. Nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. This play if you put it side by side with that Super Bowl play that Russell Wilson threw the interception, it looks identical. Like if you chop it up and put it side by side, it looks very identical. They got Alvin Gentry right next to Geno, and they do a slant route. And this is what happened. This is for the game. If we convert on this 2-point conversion, we win the game. We don't have to go into double overtime. We're already in overtime. I think the game would have tied if with these new overtime rules. But this what happens.
For the Geno Smith for the win, knocked away, and the Jags defense, Devon Hamilton swats it away to secure a 1-point.
If you didn't hear that correctly, Geno threw it off of the guy's hands. He didn't. They said the defender swatted it away, but looking at the video, Geno threw it at his hands. And once again, it was a crossing play, and Geno was throwing to the left when he had a wide open receiver like right in front of him to his right. It wouldn't have took nothing for him to just look right there. He eyeballed the receiver on the left the whole play, and then threw it into the defensive lineman's hand. And it's like, damn, it's time for a quarterback switch. Maybe we can we could trade Geno for Shador or something, or let's try to get Joe Flacco. At this point, bro, what can we lose? We need a new quarterback, and we just paid him that new contract. So yeah, I ain't fucking with Geno no more. I know I shouted him out, and I was like riding with him for a minute. I was arguing with people like, nah, Geno decent, Geno good, Geno no good, Geno no good. He ain't good. Back the Cowboys. Nah, that's right now. The Chiefs lost to the Bills 21-28. That was another good game. They was putting their hands on Patrick Mahomes. But historically, the Bills do have a good record against the Chiefs with Josh Allen. It's just in the playoffs is where they can't capitalize and keep that same energy. I don't know if Andy Reid just does a better job at adjusting, or they don't do they don't bring their A game in the regular season against this particular team. But it seems like every time that they play, Josh Allen gets the best of Patrick Mahomes in that matchup. But yeah, it was a good game. Came down to the end like most of their games usually do. This time when Patrick Mahomes lost, he actually shook Josh Allen's hand. That one game when he lost against Josh, he blamed the refs and dapped Josh and walked the fuck off, like disrespectful to the motherfucker. So yeah, hopefully we get to see this matchup in the playoffs. Most likely this will be the AFC showdown to make it to the Super Bowl. I look forward to that. The Seattle Seahawks blew out the Washington Commanders 38-14. Jay Daniels gets hurt in the, I want to say, fourth quarter. Hurt his knee, leg area. Wow, mind you, the Seahawks was winning already. They were already up by like 38-14. Why he was still in the game, I'm not sure. The head coach will probably get fired for some shit like that. Keeping your franchise quarterback in the game and during a blowout when it's clear that y'all not coming back. And then right now, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I'm not watching this game. The Cowboys and the Cardinals are playing right now on Monday Night Football. The Cardinals are winning 17-7 as of now. I was gonna watch the game and then record later, but then I said, nah, I ain't gonna waste my time. Next episode, I just update y'all on that game. The Cowboy, Dak Prescott is playing well. I will give him that credit, but this ain't one of them games I'm gonna sit down and watch. I'd rather read a book or something. Not saying I don't like read books or no shit like that, but I'd just rather read a book. Transitioning from the NFL. Last episode, we talked about Kevin Durant when he was on the top 5 Netflix series. When we was discussing KD, and I was telling y'all, Twitter KD is one of my favorite people in the world. So he I don't know why KD doing media. Cause he went on The Pivot, spoke with Ryan Clark, Freddie Jones, and Channing Crowder, and the topic of the his burner accounts and stuff like that came up. And I like when like I told y'all, I like when athletes clap back at fans or talk shit. So Spicy KD, I fucks with it. I know a lot of people be like, man, he got too much time on his hand. Or why do you care with the fans? Nah, fuck that. Talk your shit, KD. This is what he had to say when they asked him about the burner accounts. Nah. Yeah. Let me pull that up. Yeah. So Channing asked him about the burner accounts and everything. This is what he had to say.
No. The burner accounts. Did you have the little button switching back and forth?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Because I wanted to be stealth. I didn't want nobody to know that was me. I mean, that's really why you get a burner account.
I can see you cussing him out. I can see you cussing out, what's his name, Windhorse, all them, Sham Sharania. Why are you so worried about what the man living in his mama basement say about you?
I mean, he need to know too. Like seriously, if you're questioning what I'm doing, then shit, why not get it from the source if you that interested? So yeah, sometimes it's a millions and millions of people that I done probably overlooked.
Yeah.
But when I respond to 2 or 3 people, it's like, how you talking to everybody? I'm like, are you not now? You're exaggerating now. I'm talking to everybody. I might talk to 1 or 2 people here and there. I might give them a quick 30 seconds and then I'm moving on about my day. But like I said, when you look at the big picture, I really believe that these people that I might be shitting on sometimes, they enjoy these interactions.
100%.
That might push them to go buy some more NBA tickets or buy the league pass or want to subscribe more to our game. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if we all were a little bit more authentic with these responses, all of our games would grow. And I'm starting to see more and more players now. You seen Russell Wilson. Every time I see a guy come out and just say something like that, I'm like, I know I inspired that just a little. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to and you don't need to text nobody. You don't need to let me call you, man, have an hour conversation about some shit you said. Maybe you just need to hear this tweet from me real quick, and we move on. But it all helps the game, in my opinion. It helps the relationship between fans and players, in my opinion.
In the course.
In that response, KD used a keyword that I pulled from that, and he said authenticity, and I think I agree with him. I think that's what the game is missing as far as sports goes, and I think that's why a lot of people like Ant-Man is because he seemed authentic. A lot of times the athletes or the players, they seem too buttoned up. Like even most of them seem too buttoned up all the time. They got the right answers at the podium. It's all PC and PG and whatever. Like even Brian, that's how you know Brian finna retire. He don't give a fuck no more. Brian been talking shit, clapping back ever since the Stephen A thing. And me personally, I like when the players do shit like that. I think you need to put fans, media people in check. If somebody gonna judge you, They should be able to take what comes with that. Like I say all the time, don't say nothing about a person that you wouldn't say to their face if y'all was on the street by yourself with no cameras and there was zero consequences. So I'm with KD. Spicy KD is one of my favorite people. When I don't add him with none of that shit. But when I wake up and I look on the internet, I look forward to a KD tweet, Instagram, a post, anything. KD will go with anybody. He's went at Perk before. That was one of my favorites when he said, when Perk went on NBA TV, I believe that's when it was, when he was talking about how they lost to the Warriors or whatever, and saying like, well, our superstars didn't step up, but they didn't do enough. KD shut that shit down. Like, nah, the reason we lost is because the reason we lost is because our starting center scored a whopping 2 points per game and 2 rebounds. That's why the fuck we lost. But we need shit like that because we need to see how players feel inside the locker room about things like that. We need that. As a fan, I love shit like that. And I hope he don't stop. And I hope more athletes do shit like that. Only thing I was mad about the KD situation, I ain't gonna say I was mad. I was like, damn, he need to do that, was when he had the burner account. Like, nah, put your name on it. But I understand why he had the burner account. He got endorsements, shit like that. He got an image to uphold. But I think now he letting his, he letting the guard down and just not giving a fuck no more. So I hope he continue this up. And while he was on the pivot, they also talked about like piggybacking off of the fact that, him clapping back. They asked him why he went at Emmanuel Acho. If I don't know if y'all used to watch. If y'all used to watch. Acho used to have a show with on Fox or whatever. And at one point in time, Acho came up with this legacy formula because he made it seem like KD wasn't a legacy or wasn't a great. And he came up with some formula or some shit like that. And what he said was the formula included championships won plus teams played for equals your legacy. And he put Steph, Bron, and KD. He said Steph had 4 rings, played on one team, so his legacy scores are 4.0. Bron had 4 rings, 3 teams, his is 1.3. And then he said KD has 2 rings and played on 5+ teams, so his score is a 0.4. The highest value is the greatest. Basically saying that Steph's legacy is bigger than KD's and Bron's. Whatever. It's all subjective. Usually the legacy is based off the fans. Who you think has the bigger legacy is usually who you going to ride for, you going to fight for, you going to argue for. That's what we as fans do. That's what we supposed to do. That's just the way it goes. It is what it is. KD clapped back at him like, well, according. He tweeted him. He said, according to the great Kevin Durant's legacy formula that was created in the best labs at MIT, Emmanuel Acho is the worst linebacker of all time. You sure you want to listen to this guy about greatness? Which I say this all the time. What I understand where he's coming from. KD basically saying like, shit, who are you to judge greatness when you were never great? I get it, and well, in this particular situation, Acho wasn't a great player, but after football, whatever, he had a great, after sports life as far as the media goes. I think he's what they call him, New York bestseller, best time seller, some shit like that. A bunch of other accolades, but they asked him about that too, and this was his response to that.
With Acho.
Yeah, like what? Like this guy.
But that's another Texas guy, though.
Yeah, but he's not as a like. I don't like the arrogance in a lot of these guys too. That man had a cup of tea in the league, and they speak on the mentality of great players. How you supposed to become great? How you? What would you do in a situation when you're the best player on the team? The way they talk.
You've never been the best player.
You never walked through the situation before when the whole scout report is tailored to stop you. You've been there before. Mm-hmm. you guys play defense, so it's a little different. But
Yeah, they know what time it is.
when
He does.
the whole scouting report on you,
Yeah.
you know how much pressure that is on a man?
I don't, KD. I don't. They let Troy do everything. They let Troy and Sean do everything. My job was to make sure that I took care of
See what
it.
I'm saying? So when you wake, like, on the wake up, you got anxiety a day of a game.
Mm-hmm.
You got to prepare man. It's a lot that goes into trying to being great every single day. And so when people who never had to be that, speaking to the masses of people who take what you say as
gospel.
as law.
Yeah.
When you've never been in that situation, I like to be the guy to remind you that it's guys that actually been in that situation. And understand that on the level that you probably want to understand it. So let them dudes talk. You know, so Acho, I had to let them know that. I got to let a lot of these dudes know that, because when you get that title and they hand you that check and you work for these Disney and Fox and all of these big corporations, you really feel like you bigger than what you are sometimes. And you can get lost in that.
I've been there.
And somebody who's on that level, who doesn't act that way, who respects all athletes and what they've done and understand how hard it is to do what they do, I gotta just let you know, man, you coming at this a little different. And I think you can help the community a little better with what you say in that position that you in. You see what I'm saying?
No, I totally understand.
I agree. I agree. Be respectful. I think what it boils down to is respect. Use your words lightly. Speak on me respectfully. Like what Birdman say, put some respect on my name. And I think that's all the athletes be asking for, from former athletes and journalists and reporters and podcasters and fans. Just put a little respect on my name. Like, it's okay to, you know what I'm saying? I ain't speaking for KD, but I'm just thinking what he's probably speaking on. Like, it's okay to criticize or speak on what you see, but to take it to a different level and say it like, fuck you mean I ain't my legacy. Nigga, you don't know what that feel like to have a legacy. You ain't never been in my shoes. You couldn't do what I did, because if you did, you wouldn't be where you at. You feel me? So I fucks with it. And like I said, I fucks with this KD. I fucks with it. You know what I'm saying? Getting that shit off your chest. Humbling people. That too. Sometimes some people need to be humbled. Like, you feeling yourself a little bit too, dog. Like, you ain't that. Like you said, you ain't that. You was never that. You not gonna be that. So don't tell me how to be that. Just be respectful with your words. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. They also asked him about Ant-Man, like his relationship with Ant-Man, based on what we seen during the summertime for the Olympics, and how him and Ant's relationship has evolved and things like that. I thought that was kind of cool on like how he spoke on Ant-Man in a great light.
I love that you mentioned Ant, who is to the younger generation, like he's now.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you think about American basketball players, for sure, like he's the one. And I love his honesty, because he is 100% unabashedly, unashamed a Kevin Durant fanatic. You know what I mean? What was the experience like of being on the team with him and having like that sort of like exuberant basketball energy all the time, which is very similar to the way that you've always approached it?
Man, it's just like getting in a time machine, man, because the way Ant acted towards me was sort of the way I acted towards Kobe back in 2012, where it's just like a slight hint of like competition because we played each other in the playoffs, but it's always going to be respect there and love there, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like me and Ant always found our way around each other on the bus, on the train, in the locker room, just talking life, talking hoop, just anything random, you know what I'm saying? And it just felt like he came up in kind of the same environments I came up in, and he had to go through the same struggles as trying to make it as I did, you know? So we resonated on that level. And it was most of the time we didn't even talk about what we went through or all that stuff. It's just like the conversation we had was easy. So it was fun being around him.
And I think what he speaking on is kind of like, you know how a lot of players complain about there not being any like veterans in the league or no older players in the league or no older players on the team. And I think that is a good thing. Like KD seems like he likes passing down knowledge of the game. He seems like he just like hooping and without all the extra shit as far as criticism and, you know, all the stuff that comes with the game. Well, not the game, the league, I would say. Seems like the reason he fucks with Ant so hard is because like he probably look at Ant like just like himself, just excited to be a hooper or whatever, and someone he can pass the knowledge and shit down to. I fucks with that too. I think they need like a reality TV show, Ant and KD together. I think we need the behind the scenes. I don't know if we got it already. We need the behind the scenes on that Olympics of them two all the time kicking it in together and shit. But yeah, if y'all remember, y'all definitely, it's still in the news. So now the NBA broadcasters, they got a new set of people. They got Michael Jordan on there now. The new cast that does some of the games along, they give TNT some of the games. Well, the old cast of TNT, they on ESPN now with Chuck, Shaq, Kenny. But the other crew is Vince Carter, Carmelo. I'm drawing a blank on my bad. But in one of the segments, they had Mike sit down with a reporter, and the subject of load management came up. And this is what the great Michael Jordan had to say about load management.
Term load management has become such a hot button in the NBA.
I knew you were going to talk about that one.
Because you played 80 games a lot. You played 82. What do you think of when you hear the term load management thrown around?
It shouldn't be needed, first and foremost. You know, I never wanted to miss a game because it was an opportunity to prove. It was something that I felt like, you know, the fans are there to watch me play. I want to impress that guy way up on top who probably worked his ass off to get a ticket or to get money to buy the ticket.
You really cared about the guy who sat in the top deck at the Palace in Auburn Hills to watch you when you came to Detroit?
Yeah, because I know he's probably yelling at me, and I want to shut him up. You know, he's calling me all kinds of names. I definitely want to shut him up.
Right.
You have a duty that if they're wanting to see you, and as an entertainer, I want to show. Right? So if the guys are coming to watch me play, I don't want to miss that opportunity. Now, physically, if I can't do it, then I can't do it. But physically, if I can do it, and I just don't feel like doing it, that's a whole different lens.
So give me the first time that you came to that fork in the road in your career where you could have sat down and missed a game, but you fought through.
Third game of the season, started my career.
Okay.
I twisted my ankle, and I had a teammate, David Greenwood. He says, you know, you twist your ankle, young fella. Come over and sit with me. You know, this is you need to. I said, no, man. I'm trying to make a name for myself. There's no way I can sit. You know, I need to get out there and show what I'm capable of. I want to play. I want to win. I want to make an impact. And I twisted my ankle. I taped it up, and I went back out and I played. You know, and I felt that. I always felt that. I always felt the necessary need that I could never leave my comrades out if I could perform, right? Even if I couldn't. Utah, great example. You know, everybody said the flu game. It's game 5, which is a very pivotal game. I was going to find a way to get out there, even if I was a decoy. But once I got out there, you know, you never know how, you know, pushing yourself, you never know what happens, right?
So that night you got out there and you found you could do more than you thought you were going to be able to do.
Next thing you know, the emotions, the situation, the need of the team, you know, all those things catapulted me to, I'm going to gut this thing out. You know, back to your point of what load management is, you know, you play basketball 2.5 hours a day, 3 hours a day, right? That's your job. That's what you get paid to do as an NBA player. What are you doing the other 21 hours? I mean, to me, that's when you should be preparing for your next day of work or your next, you know, challenge. Now, I'm the worst. Maybe I'm not one of the guys that you would probably model that or
I was just saying, did you do that every time?
But you should think about that in retrospect of what load management really is. I always felt like one is a sense of pride for the fans that are paying. Two is a sense of making sure that I stay sharp. I'm not going to lose it. And three, I want our rhythm as a team to always be there. It can disrupt that synergy that's happening.
I'm with Mike. All right, I ain't gonna say I'm completely with Mike. Load management. As a fan, I get. As a business person, I understand load management. As a fan, I don't like load management. As a business person, I get it. These players are an asset, and you're paying them a lot of money, and you want that asset to. You want to get the most out of that asset for as long as you can. So if I'm paying, they playing players hundreds of millions of dollars or whatever. They want them to last over a long stretch period of time. You know what I'm saying? As a fan, bro, play. I want to, because this is the thing. As a fan, I'm paying for the streaming service to watch you on regular TV, because the way they got it set up now, you gotta have fucking YouTube TV, I don't know, Prime, Disney Plus, all that other shit. You gotta have all these different streaming services to purchase to watch the game if it's not your local team. Okay, so on top of that, say for instance, I want to watch all the games from every team, so I got to get the league pass. That's a couple bucks, you feel me? That's a couple bucks there. If I'm paying all this money as a fan, and not even including when I go to games. When I go to games, I may go to a game out of my city. So that's hotels, flight, or driving, depending on the distance, and my fucking time. You feel me? That I'm taking to plan this whole trip to do that. So as a fan, if I'm paying all this money for these different things to watch, it's entertaining at the end of the day, to be entertained. I expect to be entertained and to see my favorite player or the best player or the player that I'm being advertised or marketed to purchase this specific. Why did I draw a blank? To purchase this specific entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm a Lakers fan and when the season tickets went on sale a couple months ago and I purchased tickets for a specific game only to find out that LeBron James not coming back until LeBron is not playing none of the season opening games up. I think they said to like November. I'm pissed. Not only is I could have did something else with my money, my time, my energy, all that shit. So I understand it from that standpoint. I think the league needs to do a better job at either planning the load management games, because I don't think it's ever going away. I think once you set a precedent like what they doing, I don't think it'll ever go away. Even if they shorten the season to, they were talking about 60 games, they'll still find an excuse to load management. So I think they need to do a better thing with reimbursing the fans. I want my money back for if I purchase the league pass and each game that the superstars sit out, I want a credit. I want money back. I think it's just as simple as that. But Melo went on his pod. You know, Melo and Mike got a good relationship, and they asked him about the load management or whatever. this was his response to Mike on load management.
Let me just give you a stat. Michael Jordan, 11 years, played 80 games. Now, if you tell me that want to talk about load management, he don't want to hear about no load management. Now, if you ask somebody like a T-Mac, he's going to have a different perspective on load management because of his body and what he been through and the injuries that he dealt with, right? So it's different perspective. I think we have to kind of split this up a little bit. It's a bucket of guys who need the load management. Joel's situation, that should be load management.
He's been through a lot.
Alonzo Ball should be load management.
Kawhi.
Then you have this bucket of just, I don't want to play. Like load management is
You played yesterday.
I played yesterday. I'm not playing
You're
today.
not playing tomorrow.
Because I played yesterday.
Yeah.
That's load management. You look at the week and say, hey, we got 4 games this week. Yo, we're not gonna play game 3. If you hurt, sit your out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you got an ankle injury and you could try to play and you want to try to play, that's on you to go try to play. Now, what you're doing is, and here's where the science come in at. What you're doing is you going to play on that hurt ankle can create something else.
Yeah.
It's a domino effect. So we want to prevent that by resting that ankle and not putting you on that ankle. Whereas before, you heard what MJ said, my ankle hurt, that, I got to go. That thought process of having to prove yourself when you hurt today is out the window. I used to go through that my own self. Man, that. Nobody is telling me I'm not playing. I had 2 torn shoulders, knee. Never had surgery until after, just cleaning and all that stuff. But playing through this because I'm built from a different cloth. I want to play. I want to go out. Nobody telling me I can't play. Sports science was unheard of back then. Now we have this sports science kind of fad of what's going on out here because you guys are getting hurt. Guys, we want to know why guys are getting hurt. So we could prevent the injury by load management, then let's do it. I'm all for that, but there's certain guys who need it, and there's certain guys who can just go out there and play. I don't even think they preach playing 82 games anymore. They coming in and say, how many games we gonna sit you out? Like, that's load management. I just don't like when the players is taking it on their own to just say, I ain't playing. Like, I ain't playing tonight. I don't want to play that game. I don't want to play that game. That's different.
You notice when Melo was talking about the buckets of players, he said the players who deserve load management, like Lonzo Ball, Joel Embiid, and Kawhi, but he ain't mentioned the names that who taking advantage of load management. I will. Fucking Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons abused the load management, and that's why a lot of the old players think the new players are soft because of shit that he did. Honestly, I don't think this shit working. The players, it seems like the players are getting more hurt than what they used to, or they are just not playing through the injuries because shit, they got money. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, a lot of contracts wasn't as big. Everybody, I don't know if everybody contract was guaranteed, but the money wasn't as big and lucrative. So shit, you was out there trying to get it. You was trying to get it for real, for real. And I think that goes with every generation in mostly every field. Everybody has it better than the last generation. So we all gonna be soft to a generation. I'm soft compared to the generation before me. The generation after me is softer. So y'all let me know how y'all feel about the load management. Me, I don't, like I said, from a business standpoint, I understand it, but I don't like it. As a fan, I hate it. I feel like my favorite player should be playing every game. The only time I was cool with load management was when like your team locked up a playoff spot. So like later on in the season, you rest to get ready for the playoffs. That's the only time I'm cool with it. But besides that, like taking off games in the middle of the season and shit like that, I don't really like it. I'm not a fan of it. What's college? Let's talk about college football. Well, not really college football. Coach Prime. Shit. He got, what's this? Back-to-back big losses. I think just last week they lost. The other team put up like 44 points. This week the team put up 53 points. and Prime taking like a lot of heat, especially since he talk a lot of shit as he do. You know, we all fuck with Prime. Prime was my favorite football player. Yeah, that was my first favorite football player. My second, as y'all know, Randy Moss. But yeah, Prime made everything cool, man. Prime time, flashy, one of the best cornerbacks of all time. You know, depending on who you ask. Marketing genius. Prime gonna bring in some money. When he first got to Colorado. Why did I say Colorado? Anyway, when he first got to Colorado, he told everybody he was coming, man. He said he was coming, bringing some Louis luggage. Told a bunch of players that shit, hop in the portal. Like, yeah, I ain't gonna make it here or whatever. And I mean, it was a slight turnaround compared to what he walked into. I think the team that he inherited only won like 1 or 3 games over a 3 years span or some shit like that, whatever. But, you know, they first season, it wasn't really successful. The second season, I think he did better. And I want to say this the third season, it's not really looking too good. I know when he was first coaching them, he would publicly blame the offensive line. And the line still hasn't improved. So who do you blame? The players, the coaches for the scheme, or the players for the who recruited them? But after they lost the game, he got to
be available.
He got to the podium.
No one will be available.
Said this.
Tonight. Will be available tonight. It's on me. Don't attack the coordinators. Come at me. Don't attack the players. Come at me. This is me. This has nothing to do with none of them. It has everything to do with me. Let's go. No one.
Like I said, man, I keep dropping my phone. Like I said, Prime is. Like I said, Prime is good at this media shit. So he kind of, you know how to talk. It's smooth talk. You know what to do. So he got to the podium and said, like, don't blame the players. You know, no one will be available to talk to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Any of those questions, you know, y'all can direct them towards me. I'm taking all of the blame, you know. I kind of like that he's taking full accountability, you know, for his team since he's the head coach lost. But my only thing is, who the fuck you thought we was finna blame, Brian? Who you thought we was finna blame? That team is ass. And they ass shit. That's 2 games. They didn't gave up like 500 yards a game. 53, I want to say 53 points this game. I think they was gonna blame. Now I don't think Prime is in any trouble as far as like losing his job or anything like that, because I think we all knew it would take some time for him to, you know, turn that program completely around. But I think a lot of if you hate him, if you hate Prime and whatever, you probably happy because you probably feel like, all right, he'll be humble, he'll shut the fuck up. But if you like him, you still rooting for him. But who you thought we was finna blame? I think it was Acho. Acho and Steven Jackson went back and forth on this subject. And Acho was basically just saying, like, the team is not properly coached. Dion hired the coaches, the assistants, and everything, and he recruited the players. So you can't blame. Everything boils back up to him because everything is under his control. So, and one thing I don't see, but I don't see a lot of celebrities at those games anymore. Like now that the hype has died down and everything, I don't see a lot of those celebrities who was there for the first 2 seasons there anymore. I don't see a lot of people with their pom-poms, Gilly. I don't see a lot of people there. But, yeah, I don't know. I think Prime will be in the clear as long as he bringing Colorado in money. But I hope he turns it around. Get a solid. I think it starts at the quarterback position too. He's been playing 3 quarterbacks some games. Some games he plays 2. And you know what they say: if you have more than 1 quarterback, you have no quarterback. So I think it starts with the quarterback. Their offensive line is not good still. Their defensive line is not good still. I think once they get those things corrected, they get their offensive line corrected, and they could run the ball better because the run game hasn't been the best because you can't block. They getting pummeled over because they can't stop anybody. They don't get a lot of pressure up front. And you would have thought that would have changed, seeing that they got Warren Sapp on staff. So I don't know. It's not looking good this season though. So what else we got next? I think this was like maybe a couple weeks ago. Acho and Shady got into it. They got into it on their podcast when Shady brought up Fox Sports when he threw a little jab at Acho on the about the Joy Taylor situation, and then Cam brought Shady onto his pod, and he kind of asked Shady about the situation.
Do you even sports, bro? Ask the question that I know is gonna be in the comments. Was that serious? Like, were y'all really, you know what I'm saying, a little chippy?
What you talking about?
You and Emmanuel Acho, you know, at the speakeasy, and he was like, yo.
You got baptized? I was talking about the baptized situation?
Yeah, what your uncle told you?
Yeah, like, nah, so what happened was, they blew it out of proportion, but my boy, he kind of, that's my guy. Something I guess he's not over yet. But he was saying something between the lines like, Shady, you a sinner, you a sinner, you a sinner. And, now we just talking trash. Like,
Rose talk, yeah.
What we doing?
That's how we do it?
I'm like, damn, dog, do you sin? Like, you know what I mean? But that's my dog, you know what I mean? So I didn't know it was going to go like that. It just reacted. Yeah. You know how that be.
But was the emotion real, though? That's all I want to know. Because it's like...
Hey, yeah. No, you know what, though? I will say this. He talking to me now. He talking to me now. Yeah. It's my boy. He talking to me now. We all go through that. Yeah. You ain't have a game where you and your man... Listen, me and Jack, that's probably like my best friend. And we would do it. He might, we saying this, saying that. He might not talk before the whole week, and then next week he come over and hug to me.
We on back on talking.
Y'all good.
Yeah, we on good terms.
Hey, let me put it like this. Let me bring y'all into the locker room real quick, and this is my last thing. Guys like LaShawn McCoy, guys like Cam Newton, in the locker room, you don't want to be around us. Why? Because I'm going to tell you what it is. If something happened or something pop off, damn, bit, bro, what happened to you? Boy, I looked on Twitter, boy. Hey, boy. What that was, boy?
You're hot right now.
Hey, boy. Your BM getting a little rambunctious, ain't she? I'm the instigator. I'm the one that's in the meetings that got a little light heart. Huh?
Yeah.
Peanut butter stick. Hey, boy. Hold on. Slow down there, boy. What you know that, boy? And then, especially if you slap me first. Well, it's like, hold on.
Oh, come on, man.
You got a glass house now, a glass door.
Come on, man. What you ain't play? I said, dog, you ain't play all defense. You hit me, I can't hit you back.
I can't hit you back.
But you know what, though? I would say this. I said, yo, if you went to public school and you from the inner city, like, that's normal. We talking trash. Like,
you got to be ready for that. When you start swinging, start saying stuff, you got to be ready.
And if you already spent your speed.
But look, he talking to me now, though. You know what I mean? I call him right now. He going to pick up.
You feel me?
You dick.
Hey, I sure sound soft. He could dish it but can't take it back. He sounds soft. I ain't even gonna hold you. But I ain't think it was that bad. I ain't think what Shady did was that bad. I think he was just, like Cam said, I'm just poking at you. Now, I mean, I ain't in that situation. I ain't get fired because of some meow. I ain't get fired because of some, you feel me? But I guess he was pissed about it. And he didn't take that shit lightly. But on to different things. I just thought that was a little funny, a little interaction or whatever. But back to basketball. Let's talk about some gambling, some dice. So if y'all remember, this was a long time ago, the ref that they said was rigging basketball games or whatever and went to jail and all of that shit. He had a documentary and everything. I don't think he was alone, and I still don't understand how he the only one that went down for it. But he was on someone else's podcast, and they asked him about the gambling scandal that's going on now, and he kind of spoke on it. This what Buddy said.
Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, was on Pat McAfee. You think that was intentional?
Absolutely. I think he was trying to, get ahead of the fire a little bit and talk about that they need to get gambling under control. And I think that he's going to continue to try to figure out a way, to put a lid on this. But it's going to be very difficult for him because I think this is widespread. I think it's going to be very damaging to the league. And, I just received a text message from one of the FBI agents that worked my case, and he basically said that they're not going to be able to cover this up like they covered up my case.
What do you mean by that? So what's the difference between this case and your case?
I think the David Stern was able to basically put a lid on it and paint me as one bad apple, the only guy involved, and nobody else did anything but me. And, we were going to move on from it. The FBI said that there was 6 or 7 other people that they wanted to indict, and this got shut down from the highest level.
Is made. Adam.
He on a revenge tour. If y'all heard that in his voice, he on a revenge tour. Like he said, it's no way one guy could control a whole operation as far as rigging games, and nobody else was involved with it. You feel me? So he been speaking on every podcast, anybody who would give him a mic, he's been there, and he's been letting motherfuckers know, like, hey, this is bigger than what they saying, and I hope they get what they got coming towards them type shit. Because he was on this other podcast, and this is what he said.
Was there conspiracies out there that he got caught up and they tried to cover this up by just shipping him off to baseball?
I definitely believe so. I think it was no doubt that he was in kind of deep with the gambling. I think, there were rumors that, he was passing information along to the guys that he was golfing with. I know there was a story out there that he played 36 holes of golf and lost a bunch of money to a guy and told the guy that, he was going to score over 40 points that night and blow out the team. And that guy took that information and made a couple $100,000 betting. So, no doubt that he was involved in passing information along to other people he was involved with.
See, me, I like that form of betting, If I tell you, hey, I'm about to drop 50 tonight, we about to beat their ass. To me, like, that's a cool, like, I'm benefiting my team by doing that. Now,
right, but Rozier went out and went below what they thought he was going to do. So he was supposed to score 15. He said he was hurt when he had 9.
I waited for you.
Yeah, that was another. They was talking about Michael Jordan when they were speaking on the conspiracy that Michael Jordan didn't actually retire from basketball because he needed a break, but he actually retired because they're saying that the NBA commissioner at the time, David Stern, told him, like, hey, it was an unofficial suspension because he was going for a season and some change, like a season and a half. It wasn't a full 2 seasons. He came back at the end of the next season and played in the playoffs. That's when he played in number 12. But yeah, and the conspiracy is that Michael Jordan got caught gambling, and that was one of the reasons, allegedly, that was one of the reasons his father got killed because he was in debt. At the time, the Bulls also owned the White Sox. That's why he was easily able to transition from basketball and then go play in for the White Sox minor league team, the Barons, the Chicago Barons or whatever at the time. And that was the ref saying, like, you know, he was kind of confirming it but not confirming it. But there's this, I think this dude was like this mob boss. I don't know if he was a boss, but he was in the mob, and he was speaking on around the time he was in the mob and Jordan was gambling or whatever. And this is what he said.
You think Jordan went to baseball, or you think Jordan was suspended and went to baseball? You think his dad's murder had anything to do with any of that?
I know for a fact, because I was working heavy with him during that time, that he was told to go into baseball to calm things down in the NBA. I used to say Jordan had a terrible gambling problem. Terrible, because the guy gambles on everything. I saw an incident once which shocked me with Michael, right? But then I saw the documentary on Michael, and Michael said, I don't have a gambling problem. I got a competition problem. And you know what? It made so much sense, because he loves the competition, but Michael Jordan can bet whatever he wants. It's never going to affect his lifestyle. He's not going to lose his house. He's not going to lose his car. He's still taking his vacations because he's got the money to overcome whatever losses that he's got. So, okay, he's got a competition problem. And it made a lot of sense. So I corrected myself. I said, you know what? Michael's right. Because gambling's not going to hurt him. But not everybody's in Michael Jordan's situation. You know, you can have $26 million and you're getting so many millions a week, and you're gambling, 20 or 30% of that. That's going to hurt at some point. And that number is not crazy. When I say they're gambling 20% of what their paycheck is, it's not out of the ordinary. Trust me on that.
Mike ain't got no gambling issue. So you telling me the difference between having a gambling addiction and competitive nature is having money, being able to afford your addiction. That's basically what he's saying. But I said that when I watched the last Dance documentary, like during the pandemic. I say, hey, Mike got an addiction to gambling because he was just betting on anything, I think they was pitching pennies or some shit off the wall with the dude at the United Center. Mike was just betting at anything. I think it's probably both competitive and nigga got an addiction. Gambling before a game. If Mike played in this era, boy, they would tear hil ass up on social media. They would call him all type of unfocused, not dedicated to the game. He lucky he played in the era where it was just the newspapers and it took a minute for stories to get out and shit like that. Because motherfuckers would have seen a picture. Mike would have been on somebody's Instagram page at the casino and in Vegas or some shit with the night before a game or after a loss, they would have tore his ass up on social media. I promise you they would have. And but yeah, kind of off that same story, that same guy that the mafia dude, the mob dude, whatever I don't know his name, my bad. He was speaking on how players can get in debt and how once they get in debt, they kind of get controlled and manipulated into doing things they probably wouldn't do.
Comes to me, hey, this player from the Jets, he's into me really heavy. He owes me 50 grand. Okay, what do you want to do? Should I bring him to you? How should I collect? 50 grand? Let him get into you for 250 grand, 300 grand. What are you doing? You're writing an entry on a piece of paper. It's not costing you a penny. He's a bad gambler. Let him get into you heavy and then bring him to me. Boom. Before you know it, he's into me $250,000, $300,000, right? I bring him to me. Sit down. Hey, how you doing? Good. You owe me a lot of money. Oh, you didn't know it was me? Sorry, yeah, we don't always put that out there. But it's me. You owe me a lot of money. How you going to pay? You got to pay. You got to figure it out. I'll tell you what. You know what? I love your team. I like the way you play. I'm going to give you a break. You owe me $250,000, right? You don't have to pay me right away. You pay me 2% a week in cash. When do you get paid? Every Monday you be here with the cash. Don't miss. Don't miss. And I'll let you slide for a while. I don't care. That's fine with me. He wants to do anything to get out of the room. He leaves. What do we find out? We're tracking a guy. He goes to another bookmaker somewhere else, right? And he's trying to make up the loss by betting somewhere else. Well, we all know what's going on. So pretty soon, he can't even pay me the 2%. We call him back in the room. Hey, let me explain something to you, my friend. You don't get away with a gambling debt. You got to pay me. You got a rich uncle. You got a godfather. Who would it? Go rob a bank. I don't care what you do, but you're going to pay me. That's it. Oh, Michael, let me tell you that. For some reason, I got a soft spot with you. I don't know why. So here's what we're going to do. You're a good running back, right? Yeah. All right. First 3 times next game, you put the ball on the ground. What? You heard what I said. Put the ball on the ground. First 3 times. You're a wide receiver? Okay. Make sure that that ball doesn't go into your hands. That's it. You're a quarterback? First 3 times you get the ball, put it in the other team's hands. I'll worry about the rest. I'm getting an edge now. I know what to do. You're going to do this over a period of whatever amount of games I tell you, and that's how we're going to even up the score. And if you don't do it, you don't want to know what happens at that point. I think you understand where I'm coming from. That's it. Very powerful. That's how you get these players to work with you. NBA player, the same thing. I don't care what you do. Foul yourself out of the game. Do whatever. Referee, same thing. You make sure it goes my way. Are all of these type of people involved in gambling? Of course. Gambling is huge.
There it goes. So if you ever see some shit where a player is doing uncharacteristic things like playing for the Baltimore Ravens and fumbling the ball when your team has a chance to win it, or, when you usually don't fumble, or, just missing wide open shots when you usually knock those shots down. What's Javante, damn, I always forget his name, the Porter brother. He's snitching. I think he's snitching and setting everybody up. But yeah, just shit like that. So if you ever watching sports, and this kind of confirms what us as fans have been saying for the longest, that this shit is rigged. That's why I don't bet. That's why I stopped betting, because I feel like this shit rigged. You're not meant to win big. Well, it's not as big as I be trying to win. But yeah, this shit rigged. And it's bigger than Nino Brown. It's bigger than us small people. So that's what be happening. But on to the next thing. My man Jalen Brown, he took him braids out, and he's been another victim of that black spray shit that niggas be getting in their head when they go to the barbershop. I promise you, y'all need to stop that. I get it, but I don't get it. I never got it. Well, I ain't gonna say I never got it, but I probably got it like once. But I don't know how y'all not washing y'all hair after y'all get out the barber chair. Like that was the first thing I was taught to do. Once you leave the barber chair, you go take a shower and you wash your hair to get the loose hairs out your head. So the fact that y'all be walking around with that black spray on y'all head for days lets me know what type of people y'all is. But nah, the Celtics was playing, and Jalen Brown head rubbed up against somebody's jersey, and all of the black shit got on his jersey. So they was flaming Jalen Brown on the internet about it or whatever, and he was cool about it or whatever. So he said he tweeted or put on Instagram, one of them, like, yeah, I'm going live, because he be streaming and shit. This motherfucker went live, got a haircut without the spray, and I guess they was laughing at the fact that his hair is thinning and balding and this shit. This motherfucker get on live and call Brian, talking about he needs some advice.
Red, my nigga. Cold red. They done caught me slipping. I need to know, turkey or no turkey. And I ain't talking about no cheese sandwich. It's some real shit, bro. Call your little bro back. Put all the other shit in the past.
That nigga don't fuck with you like that. Hang up.
Hey, Brian was probably looking at his call ID like, bro, what the fuck is this calling me? If he got his number saved, nigga just randomly call him, talking about some he probably listened to that voicemail like, this motherfucker gotta be joking. But nah, this shit was funny. I like players with personality and don't take themselves serious or shit like this, cause a lot of us gonna go there. Damn. I ain't there yet, but some of us gonna be there sooner than later. And the fact that he lighthearted about the situation is kind of cool. I think it was them braids that took his shit out. Cause remember, he had the high top joint when he first got in the league, and then he got them fucking. We all been there, bro. I can't talk shit about your neck braid when my shit probably was just as worse as yours, and I just had them. Man, that neck braid era. It's like some shit you try to avoid, but it's like you can't avoid, because you can't rock the fro for too long. And then, like, if you're trying to get braids, long braids, like your first, man, I ain't even gonna talk shit about your shit. My shit was fucked up too. Nah, I could talk shit about yours. Mine was little as hell. Them little ass neck braids he used to be rocking took his damn hair out. Now that nigga thinning at the top. He need to get some castor oil, drop that shit on the top. But I would love to see Bron's response to this. I promise you, I would love to see Bron's response to this. And then in other news, remember I told y'all that Stephen A. think that he is bigger than the program or bigger than the players, or just shit like that. Kendrick Perkins, one of Stephen A.'s proteges, went on all the smoke. I'm tripping. Out the Mud podcast with TA and Zebo. It was actually a good interview. I learned a lot about Perk during this interview. It was like 2 hours long, so if you got a little bit of time, go sit down and watch the interview. Perk spoke about what did he speak about? He spoke about Ja Morant. He spoke about him falling out with KD, him falling out with Russ. Russ being his son's, I think he said son or daughter, godfather, and like them no longer speaking, they wives getting into it. He spoke about him speaking on Bronny making the All-American McDonald's team, him getting drafted, just a bunch of shit. It was actually a good interview. And I like the fact that who did the interview and the way they was able to, I wouldn't say check Perk, but like tell them like, all right, bro, your ass tweaking. You feel me? When he says certain things, especially this one particular thing. I'll touch on the other stuff once I finish the interview. I ain't even gonna lie, it was 2 hours long. I didn't finish the whole thing, but I finished maybe like an hour of it. But I'll touch on the rest of it on my next episode. So they got to speaking on Ja in Memphis. And remember, Perk at one time said that don't no free agents want to go to Memphis because it's violent. It's just shit like that. And this is what he had to say. He was out of his mind what the fuck he just said, to be honest with you. And he said this regarding Ja's fame.
And shit like that, I had to speak on it. Me and Ja don't really fuck with me no more on that shit. But to be honest, in that type of situation, I don't fuck with Ja. And you know why I don't fuck? I fuck with his daddy, but I don't fuck with Ja. You know why I don't fuck with Ja? Because it's like, bro, the reason I'm so mad at you is because ESPN packed up for a week. And when y'all had the city rocking. ESPN ain't never packed up and went down there, spent millions of dollars to go do an all access on y'all in Memphis. They did that for Ja.
They do that for
Bro,
us.
I was the one that was praising Ja. I was the one that said, hey, man, I came out and said, hey, look, we could redo that draft. Ja should have went number 1 and not Zion. All of a sudden,
Sure.
Disney bosses hearing me out. And we go do an all access, bro. We down in Memphis, shining light on you. ESPN don't never do that shit.
For sure.
We're knowing you the next chosen one. And you fuck up, guess what? Not only do that make you look bad, that make me look bad. Because they recognize you because of me speaking highly of you.
Perk out of his fucking mind. And Ja responded too. Ja responded, he tweeted like, yeah, you the reason for my notoriety, Perk. Come on, dog. You showing them why I don't fuck with your kind. I'm with Perk. I mean, nah, I'm not with no fucking Perk. I'm tweaking. I'm with Ja. And this goes back to my whole thing as people feeling like they are bigger than what they really are. Yeah, Perk might have went at when he worked at ESPN and told the executives like, hey, we need to go to Memphis, but don't get it fucked up. If it was nothing in Memphis to go see, they wouldn't be going to Memphis. Ja put his cell phone. Ja went to Murray State, a mid-level D1 college, you know what I'm saying? Put in the work, got to the league, put in the work, and got the city of Memphis rocking. And that's why that's why ESPN went down there and did the all access. Yeah, you may have suggested it but if it was a weak ass team or a weak ass player, they wouldn't have wasted that money. So I kind of hate when people take credit for other people's success, like I put you on or some shit like that. Like, nah, you seen something in me because of who I am. I did the work. If I you know what I'm saying, I'm putting in the hours at what I do. I'm the one but you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. You feel me? You made the suggestion because you had already seen that I was who I was. So stop. Like, I think people need to stop that shit. Like, Perk, stop. Slow down, Jim Shoe. Slow down. You ain't the reason for Ja's fame. Ja dunking on Wemby and Ja dunking on everybody else is the reason for Ja's fame. It's not Kendrick Perkins who work at ESPN. Stop doing that shit. Don't do that shit. And I like the fact that that's why I said that I like who did the interview, because even when he said that shit, Tony Allen and Zebo was like, nah, bro, you tweaking. Like, nah, you tweaking. You was not the reason for, you didn't put him on. You're not the reason for his popularity. He did that shit on his own. And you're not going to take that from Lil Bro, which I fucks with them for that. But when I listen to the rest of the interview, we're going to talk about the rest. I seen little snippets, but I wanted to actually sit down and listen to the interview and digest the information. But another podcaster, Podcast P, aka Pat Bev, he had Jay Will on the on his podcast, and they were speaking on NBA Hall of Fame and the top 75. And the reason it piqued my interest is because he said a lot of the things that I said too, but you know, no one really heard it as far as Hall of Fame and top 75. I'm gonna let y'all hear it, and then I'm gonna tell y'all what I meant.
Well, in my eyes, if you're a Hall of Fame, you're a superstar. But with that being said, I think the Hall of Fame in the NBA, you know, there's somebody who makes it every year. And I think the Hall of Fame should be so prestigious that maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years go by that nobody makes that jump. But the NBA, I mean, it's somebody making it every year. And I'm not so sure I agree with that. But who the fuck am I, right?
Right.
That's
You think too many people get in?
I do. Maybe some people get in that maybe shouldn't, in my opinion, but I don't.
Like who?
Oh, man.
And we do have a podcast now. You know what I mean?
we gotta talk hoops. We gotta holler a little bit.
I mean, I just think, like the top 75 player list, all that's kind of
no Kyrie.
Yeah,
no Anthony Davis.
Dwight Howard.
No Dwight.
Come on, dog. Like I think it's all like the media votes on a lot of that stuff, right? Like, so if you're,
Well, you think Dwight Howard should be in the Hall of Fame, probably, right?
Dwight Howard,
Yeah.
as a basketball player,
Yeah.
I think he's one of the best big men to play the game of basketball.
top 5,
Yeah,
ever.
So then who's not making it? Like, because I'm not really seeing, like, there's enough guys every year that it's like, there's not really many, like, unworthy
You
cases.
taking Dwight or Yao Ming?
I'll take Dwight Howard.
Me too.
That's not even close.
Yeah, me too. Is Yao Ming in it?
There's only one guy to take over Dwight Howard.
Shaq.
It's correct.
Yeah.
I mean, I got.
Well, Nick, a lot of people, if y'all don't know, but the Basketball Hall of Fame is not the NBA Hall of Fame. The NBA doesn't have an Hall of Fame. The NBA players get inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, which includes your high school, college, NBA, and if you play overseas, it includes your professional. You know what I'm saying? All the your professional tenure by playing basketball. So they include all of that. And so when it comes to, as a fan, because I've never hooped in the league, I almost went to the league, but I had tore my ACL in grammar school, and I just never was the same. You know, my leaping ability wasn't the same, all of that, my crossover. So, I had to get out here and find a real job and find a real career path, do the regular college thing. You know what I'm saying? But no, I think that as far as Hall of Fame, I think Hall of Fame should be for the greats and not for the goods. I think even sometimes in football, but more specifically in basketball, they just be letting anybody in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And I think it's just based off popularity. Did you have some sense of popularity? I think in order for it to be in the Hall of Fame, I said this with football too, you have to be the top 5 at your position for a long period of time. And in basketball, I think championships and MVPs should be taken into account. I think it's harder to get those accolades in football, but with basketball, I don't think you should be a Hall of Famer with 0 MVPs, 0 championships. Like, you gotta have a mixture of something. The Hall of Fame should be for the best of the best. I don't want to say this, but I don't think role players should be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe they should make a Hall of Pretty Good, but that's me coming from a fan standpoint. I never played the game at a high level. You catch me at the rec, I'll definitely give you some buckets though. And then also the top 75 thing, I said that when it dropped. I don't think Damian Lillard should have been on the NBA's top 75 list. I think Dwight Howard should have made it. And I think the reason Dwight Howard didn't make it is because he has a bad rep with the media. Part of that bad rep is Shaquille O'Neal putting him on the top 75 all the time and making fun of him. That's another thing. I think we probably could have did without Vince Carter being on the top 75. But definitely Dwight Howard should have been on that top 75. I know people made a case that Klay Thompson should have been on there. I don't have the list in front of me right now, but I'm sure it's a lot of guys I don't think we can go back and edit the top 50, the original 50, but that next 25, that list could be debated. Yes, that list could be debated. But for sure, Dwight Howard should have been on there. Now, do I think Dwight Howard is a top 5 center of all time? No. I think when I made my list, I had him around 6 or 7, but he's definitely top 10 for sure. But he should have been on that top 75 list, and he's definitely a Hall of Famer. So I fucks with Jay Will. I think he's actually been the newest member of Barstool. I seen somewhere where they said he'll be on more episodes with Pat Bev. So I'll be checking that out to hear some old feedback from Pat. If last week, I want to say last week, ESPN went to one of the HBCU games between two HBCU schools. I'm sorry. And your boy Cam Newton is wilding out fighting mascots. Now, he kind of downplayed it and made it seem like, no, we was just joking, woo out the bam. But the way he cocked back and swung on that mascot, I think he was pissed off. I think that mascot was irritating him. He wanted him to, you know what I'm saying, get back, check yourself. But it was funny as hell, and that shit went viral, so Cam had to address it on his pod. And this is what my boy said.
Nothing beats a jet to holiday. And right now,
I'm a real mean.
You are me.
It feels good. Shout out to all the mascots worldwide. The time has come when the people really want to know what did you know? When I was trying to celebrate with one of the mascots, I hear whisper. Hey, I heard what you said. Wait. It's really good. You So boom. Hey, what you said about Jalen? That ain't what happened. But needless to say, I just thank God that nobody was hurt. Everything was all in good fun. And if people really wanted to dig deep, they could have dug deep in finding other clips. But that was the only clip that you saw. So what am I going to do? I'm going to let it air.
You ain't saying nothing.
I told you it was really not fair. Ever since I said Jalen was a mascot, I've been getting all type of hate mail from mascots all over the world.
I just want to say I come in peace from dog. Hey, we come in peace, brother.
I think one thing that it did show me is people are always watching.
Because you seen it on Shade 50 Cent posters.
Bruh! Everything was all playful. But it didn't look like it was playful. It looked like it was hey, smack down. Hey. Stop. And even with the tone of because whether it was playing or not, it was the things that the internet seen as it that was true and it wasn't. Then when you read the comments and you start to see like Cam Newton looking like imaginary best friend in your head. Man, I done seen Michael Jackson wear higher pants. Bro, those things, it doesn't break my spirit. If anything, it gives me life. Bro, we're living in a day and age where now, bro, this little device right here can crush you. And in the famous words of C.C. Newton, my father, said, son, you could be on top of the world, and the next day, the world will be on top of you. Shout out to Alabama A&M. Shout out to Bruce, the mascot, and everybody, you welcome for your meme of the year.
Now, Cam said people were searching for clips or whatever, but I watched that live as it happened, and that shit was real. It seemed like it started off as fun when they first pushed each other, but you know when your little brother don't stop playing, you be like, hey bro, chill. Hey bro, chill. And they don't chill, so you gotta hit the shit out of them. That's what happened. Cam cocked back hard as hell and damn near knocked the mascot head, like the top part off. And then when the guy kept chasing him, Cam, I think what pissed Cam off was when he knocked Cam's top hat off or whatever. He was like, hey, stop playing. Hey, stop playing. That's what he said. So he could downplay it all he wanted to, talking about some people who ran with it or whatever. Nah, he was pissed. That ego, whatever that was pissing him off or was just annoying him at the time. And he wanted to get that motherfucker off of him. So he could downplay it all he wanted to, but he was mad as hell. But it was funny as hell though. Check out the picture. I'm gonna drop the picture on the screen or whatever. Y'all can see how it went. I think that's it. I think that's all I got today, y'all. Yeah, that's all I got. Y'all know how it go. This has been another episode of the First of 32 podcast. I'm your host, Steve, a.k.a. S. a.k.a. whatever you know me as. You can like, subscribe, and follow on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram at First of 32 podcast. You can like, share the reels, the posts. On TikTok, First 32 podcast. Like, follow, share, whatever. What's that? Oh yeah, we on Spotify, First to 32 Podcast. Like, subscribe. Apple Podcasts. You know, if you want to listen to me while you're at work or on your way to work, on your drive to work, on your drive home, on your drive home from picking up the kids, or if you just want to put me on and just listen to me because you fuck with me, at the First to 32 Podcast on Apple Podcasts. And that's it, y'all. I'm out.
They love that shit. They love this street shit. Fuck niggas talking about, nigga. Nobody talking about fuck gang shit, nigga. They really love when you live it too, though, gang. Yeah. Hey, Papa's anti-bar, get the acting wild. Capping ass nigga need a cap and gown. Fuck them pussies, tell a real niggas back in style. Smoke shit like a black and mild, bitch, I rap and rock. 50,000 off that fatty, it's a bank drop.